Welcome to Well Traveled Life. You're watching with Jonathan and Jennifer, and we are in Hilo, Hawaii. We'll take you to a couple of the iconic spots. We'll go to Volcanoes National Park as well as Rainbow Falls. The state of Hawaii is comprised of 8 major islands and a whole bunch of smaller islands. The big island of Hawaii is actually the largest and most southern island. The entire state is named after this one island. For time on the big island, you may want a car. Volcanoes National Park is accessible through tour companies, but if you want to spend time going to the places that you want to go and spending the time that you want to spend in each of the areas, you may be better off either renting a car or doing what we did. We hired an Uber for a day. We had a driver who picked us up and took us out to Volcanoes National Park. Remember, when you're getting an Uber driver, you're not necessarily getting a tour guide, but you may have a really great experience with somebody local who can share their life and their story with you while you're getting where you want to go. Remember, Volcanoes National Park is a national park. Hawaii is in the United States, so if you have a national park pass, then you have your free admission to this park as well. If you're a senior, you can get a lifetime national park pass for $80. If you want just a single year, it's $20. Either way, it is an awesome deal. It gets you free entrance and day use passes at all national parks around the country. Your first stop in Volcanoes should be at the Kilauea Visitor Center. They will have exhibits, maps, a gift shop, a theater with a recurring show about the history of the park, as well as park rangers there that you can ask questions of. There are really good recommendations depending on the amount of time that you have to spend at the park. We opted to spend a few hours here. We took the road to the very far end, and we'll take you on that path and show you what's to see. But there's so much to do here. You could easily do an overnight. There's a crater trail, there's lava tubes, and of course there's the Kilauea caldera. Your first stop on the trail outside of the visitor center is at Kukumakuahea. And this is where you're going to get lots of steam vents. We are in Kukumakuahea, which is in Volcanoes National Park, and we are at the steam vent. I'm standing next to it, and as the wind blows it, it's really warm steam. This is real steam. In Hawaiian, Kukumakuahea translates to steam vents, and so you'll see them in all directions. If you have heart or respiratory problems, you may want to be cautious as the steam does have sulfuric gases in it, and that may not feel good to you. You can check with the rangers at the visitor center to find out what activity is going on with the volcano each day, but there's also QR codes along the way that you can monitor current volcanic activity. And there aren't fences, so watch those edges. Those are not cliffs you want to fall down. From the first outlook past the steam vents, we thought the views were just magnificent, and it's really the first chance you get to see that full crater from above. The Halemaumau Trail is 1.6 miles from the visitor center down to the caldera floor. There's options to go further if you'd like, but that gets you down where you might want to be. Along the Ha'akula Trail, which translates to the sulfur banks, you get these colorful mineral deposits, but do be careful because this is where you would get the sulfur fumes. In Hawaiian, Kilauea is known as Kaluapele, and if you know about Hawaiian belief systems, Pele is the female deity of volcanoes in Hawaii. The last stop on both the road and the trail leads you to Uikahuna. This is the lookout at Uikahuna, which is the end of the road for this part of the scenic drive along the crater. You have a different view over the same crater. You can see that lava lake below, and essentially what that is it's the largest lava lake on Earth. It has a few feet of more solid magma, and then there's magma below it that is continuing to push up, so you see the steam rising out of there, and then under pressure that will actually break up and break through that solid layer and make that an even more liquid magma. While we were at the park, we saw 2 USGS airplanes flying over, and this is a no-fly zone. You will see tourist helicopters, but you won't see other airplanes. So that meant that there was some activity and they were doing some checking on some things. And directly across from this crater, we are looking at Mauna Loa and Mauna Kea. Mauna Kea is where the observation center is, and it is the tallest mountain in the islands. Mauna Loa, though, which is translated to the long mountain, Mauna Loa is actually just as tall because it goes even deeper, and it is this constant upsurge of lava. So lava flows down, creates a new layer. So you just have layer upon layer of molten lava that has hardened and created these mountains. The views from here get you right up to the far end of this crater. Mauna Loa, the long mountain. Mauna Kea, the tall mountain with the observatory on top. You can barely see the little white towers up there. It is possible to visit the Gemini telescope. It's an 8-meter telescope and has a sister telescope in Chile. But in order to do that, you need to go to the campus, and 24 hours in advance, you can schedule a tour. You have to have a minimum of 2 people and a maximum of 10 people, and they will do everything they can to accommodate your needs. Just make sure you contact them ahead of time. We went onto the campus at the University of Hawaii at Hilo University Park. This is the Gemini Observatory, and you can get tours of the base operations as well as a summit tour, but they are only done very infrequently, so check the schedule. Another Hilo highlight is Rainbow Falls. It is right off the road, really easy to get to and really easy to see. Requires no hiking whatsoever. Whether you're here on a sunny day and get the namesake rainbow, or you're here on a cloudy day and you get the wreath of mist, the falls are magnificent and plunge an 80 feet from the Wailuku River above into this natural pool below. That is a lava cave behind it that has been carved out from the force of the splashback. You can walk up the hill to the lookout, but this is not a swimming pool or a swimming river at this juncture. And during heavy rains, it's susceptible to flash flooding. Rainbow Falls is one of those awesome waterfalls that's right off the road. So you park in a parking lot, you walk 10 feet, and you are at the waterfalls. Depending on the sun and the way it's hitting the falls will depend on whether you see rainbows or not. But that's what it's named for, is its ability to create rainbows with the sun's rays. If you're interested in Hilo Town, please watch our other video about the Big Island, where we focus on both Kona and Hilo. And we hope you didn't miss our snorkeling trip in Kona, where we have underwater footage of eels and tropical fish. We thank you for being here and hope that we will see you on our other videos on Oahu, Kauai, and Maui. kukumakat. Whatever that word was that I just said.